Welcome to HortTube. My name is Jim Putnam. In this video, I'm going to start planting some of my annuals and perennials for this spring, summer, and fall flowering season, we'll call it. I've passed my last frost at this point right here at the end of April. And I've got a few annual things and a few perennial things going in this front this front bed right in front of my house. I've got pockets like this all over the place with things laid out. I want to show you guys some of these things going in the ground in the videos and just talk them through a little bit. Maybe they're things that you would want to add into your plantings this summer. These the things in this video are going to bloom pretty much all summer long, so hopefully you find them interesting. The first thing I got going in the ground back here is some African blue basil. I had these in this space last year as well. They filled up this entire space in just a couple months. The pollinators absolutely love this plant. African blue basil is actually a cross, and it is not true from seed or doesn't produce seed, and so these can only be done from cuttings. But it is actually a perennial basil, which is unusual. Most basils are annuals. For me, it's not cold hardy. I do have a couple of little leaf sages or Salvia gregii that are going into this space. This one's called amethyst lips. I forgot it for a second. You see the color of that is very, very striking. I've got one that's a little more purple here. The Salvia gregii, or the little leaf sages, pretty much bloom all summer long. They'll get a little bit stretched as time goes on, and a couple times during the summer I'll just give them a haircut right off the top. But pollinators absolutely love these. I've got a lantana going in called bandana right there. This one is a maybe perennial for me, well established going into winter. Up here close to the foundation, it could definitely come back. It will end up this big, okay? Behind that, back here, I've got some agapanthus. This is a ever sapphire. I already had a hummingbird on these this morning. This ever series that the Southern Living Plant Collection has repeat bloom, and so they'll continue to bloom during the summer. This is here's another one right here. I have lots of these going in the ground. I had these last year. Hummingbirds love them, and really any bees as well. And I've got a white one going in right here. So I'm going to get these things in the ground. It will not take long at all for these items to fill this space in. This basil is very fast growing. It'll be this big in a hurry. Same thing with the lantana. Salvia, same exact thing. I can come back in here on any of these during the summer and cut them back pretty much in half and make them fuller and kind of reset their size, and then they'll bloom right through fall for me in this space. So I'm gonna get them in the ground. The spot on the corner where the pansies are is going to be other annuals in the next couple of weeks. It's supposed to be 87 degrees today, so I imagine these pansies are going to take a pretty quick beating because we're jumping to summer real quickly. So I'm jumping to summer as well with things like salvia, which will bloom all summer, and the African blue basil. You guys will be amazed how fast this little section will fill in. A lantana here, and then the agapanthus as well. I've got a few other things out in this area, and as I get closer to where I just built these little fences, my neighbor has a maple right there. So the shade kind of takes over somewhere about where that rock is, and so going back that way I have a couple of hosta to put in. But I'm going to show you a few more sages, 3 more sages or salvias, and then a couple hosta back in there. The 2 salvias I'm putting in this area are definitely going to be annuals for me. This is a salvia hybrid. This one's called Wendy's Wish. I think all of these ones say Wish in the name. Some part of it goes to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. I plant usually at least one of these a year. These are vigorous growing ones. It'll fill this entire space during the summer. Hummingbirds actually absolutely love these. Bees kind of cheat. The flowers are long and the bees actually drill into the back of the flower. The bees get to enjoy them as well. And then I've got a pineapple sage, a gold pineapple sage going in back here. Again, zone 9, zone 10 hardy. They are perennials, but they're going to be annuals in my area. But I'm going to get these in the ground. Really quickly. These little 4-inch pots like this, if you had one of those planting drill bits, you could use it, no problem. I have drip irrigation where I'm digging all these holes. So for me, I've got to pull this mulch back, make sure I'm not putting a hole in my irrigation as I'm planting. And both of these will end up filling in this entire space very quickly. Where it gets shadier, under the maple tree here in the front yard, I have a couple of Hosta going in. I have planted several hellebores and other things in this shady space over the last few weeks. I've got some rhodia, Jack in the Pulpit. If you're following my weekly kind of walk around videos, you can see all of these pieces and how they perform during the season. This is such an interesting thing for me with Hosta now, is that over the last 35 years, just how many crazy interesting ones have been released. It used to be we'd get a really cool new one and it would be the cool one for a year or two, and now it just seems like every time I look, there's 10 new ones that are better than anything we had 35 years ago. It's kind of crazy. But this one's called Rainbow's End. Perfect shade plant, hardy for pretty much everybody who's watching me right now. Like I say, these plantings that I'm doing are definitely a mix of perennial and annual things that you're going to see over the next couple of weeks. I'm really just going for all summer color. That is really what I'm going for. And some of these perennial things will be much bigger in their second year, and I won't need as many annuals next year. This second one is called June, and it's been around for a while, but wow, look how striking that one is. Okay, I'm gonna just sink him down in the ground, tucking it pretty close to this Miss Kim lilac that's in this space. Hosta is very easy. Plant them pretty much flush and go on with your life. They're super reliable that way. This one won't do a whole heck of a lot of these won't do a whole heck of a lot of growing this first year, but when they come up next season, they'll be double or triple in size. I just built this fence out by the street, and there's 3 agapanthus that are going right behind it. This is one that will spike up and over the fence. These are hardy in zone 8 to 10. I'm technically in 7B, but I'm in an urban space, and small lots. There's probably more asphalt in this neighborhood than there is ground space, and so most of my zone 8 things come back. I've got some agapanthus in the backyard that had no problem this past winter, but just letting you know, they are technically zone 8 perennials and not 7. I planted this little dwarf sedum called Ogon. I'm in the process of putting a stepping stone path going through here, and I'm going to have lots of little ground covers like this. But this is a beautiful little gold sedum. Again, it's called Ogon. And then those two Hosta are there. I've got other shade perennials that I will line this this pathway with once the stones are in. Here's this space that I started in with the little leaf salvia. You can get a close up of these flowers. Hummingbird magnets, of course bees as well, and the bees just go crazy for the African basil. It's just the best for pollinators during the summer. There's that lantana and more of the agapanthus. I'm in the backyard now, and I just wanted to show you some of these agapanthus coming back. There's another one right there, and I'm filling in with lots more. I'm going to put these in the ground off camera, because you've seen agapanthus going in the ground, and I got several spots where they are. I am going to be shooting videos for anything that's unique going forward, and I have a ton of things that I think you guys would be interested in for attracting pollinators to your garden, or just having all summer color. Doesn't even have to be about pollinators necessarily, but you can see all these things that I have just laying everywhere that are ready to go in the ground. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell notification so you're alerted when I upload a video, and thanks for following along.